Okay, I just came in from successfully finishing a project that'll be on my main channel this weekend, probably on Sunday, maybe on Saturday, depends on, it's not a tough video to edit, there's no build article with it, there's no narration to record, so it should go smoothly. And it shouldn't take long. So probably Saturday. I'll put it on there on Saturday. I really don't like to hang on to videos too long because then I start to lose confidence in them. I can't let a video sit forevermore without releasing it because I'll delete it and redo it or just scrap the project altogether. I don't know why that is. Just the way it is, I guess. You know, it's not even warm out, and I'm sweating like a pig here because I worked pretty hard to finish that one up. And when you see the video, you'll probably understand. It's not going to be one of my more popular ones, that's for sure. But you know what? I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. You know, I kind of have a bit of a formula for making videos now that my recent videos on the Red Channel are all in that basic formula. And it works good, and I'm efficient at it. It doesn't take long to edit, unless I make mistakes, like I said before, but it gets tedious, you know? And so I made this other channel here to do random stuff, and this project was never, the one I just finished, was never meant to be on this channel, though. It was meant to be on my main channel, with the idea being that I'll be putting on, you know, just like novelty videos on my main channel from now on. And that's actually harder than it seems to come up with successful, you know, novelty videos like the fidget spinner one. I think it's closing on 7 million views now, and that's my second most viewed video at this point. The paper cut one, of course, is up somewhere around 13 million or 12 anyway. So those are difficult. They're not difficult to come up with original ideas for it. It's difficult for them to really take off and be successful. So those kind of videos, you really want to make them quickly. That paper cut video, I went out on Saturday morning just with a thought in my head that I'd try this out, and I just did it without any stress or anything, and it took off like a rocket. That first week it got 11 million views, and wow, it was like crazy. The amount of comments I got on that video and the number of emails. Long ago I stopped reading the comments for that video, so. And same thing for the fidget spinner. The comments that come in are just basically the same thing over and over again. So no need of reading those. Save myself some trouble. But this one I just finished this morning is different. It took me all day yesterday to build the project part of it, and then I was gonna finish it yesterday, but I just didn't have anything left to. It was stressful for me because in building a project, in the beginning, it wasn't like this. I'll start by saying this. In the beginning, it wasn't like this. I grabbed my camera. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I go out in the garage and I do something. And you know what? If it worked out, I didn't really care, okay? I just was showing me making something. It didn't matter in the slightest how well the video was made or how well I spoke or anything like that. Just do it type thing. And that's what I did for the first, 2 years? And then I slowly tried to start getting better. And some people are born to this type of thing, but I definitely wasn't. I mean, it might not seem this way now, but I was terrified in front of the camera in the beginning. And I couldn't spit out a clean sentence, if you fucking paid me. And so that's what I did in the beginning. I just grabbed my camera and I went out and I filmed it, and that's it. I wasn't concerned about how it looked or anything like that. But today, I'm very concerned about how it looks. And this thing in particular, I didn't want it to be I didn't want to make this video for the sake of the project itself. I wanted to make this video for the sake of the video itself. That's what I was interested in making. I wanted to film this in the best way that I possibly can using the equipment that I have. I probably could have done it better if I had got the recorder from the shop, but it's not well suited to an outdoor project. This was an outdoor project. I did the entire thing outdoors. So, and that was not how it was originally going to go either. I was going to make part of it in the shop, but then I said, no, stay outdoors and finish it out here, and you get a consistent look all the way through it. So anyway, I was rambling there a little bit, and I was talking about how the videos have changed for me, and it's almost like I have to build up my nerve to get started on the more complex ones because I'm afraid of something going wrong, either something going wrong with the recording or something going wrong with the project. I mean, you got to understand that if you get halfway into a project that you've already filmed so much material for and you've already done so much work on and spent so much time doing it, then you have, if something goes wrong there, you're fucked. Especially with the self-imposed tight timetable that we have here on YouTube. I mean, you're supposed to be getting out a video every week. And I mean, that's okay if you're just sitting here in front of the camera talking to it like that. I can make one of these per day, no problem, if I had anything to talk about, that is. But when you're doing a project video, that is really detailed and involved, and it's not just the project itself, it's the video. So you got to concentrate on both things simultaneously while you're doing it. And that's the reality of making project videos. They're not as easy as they seem to anyone that's not done it before, that is. Anyone that's done it before quickly realizes how much work is involved in putting together a good video that includes the building of a project. So the other thing about making videos is that not everything is as it appears when you're watching it. When you're watching it at home, you're watching stuff that may have been done out of sequence. So, if you see something that looks odd, and you say to yourself, well, I wouldn't have done it that way. Well, then maybe I wouldn't have done it that way, but I tried some other way and it didn't work, and so I had to do that. The other thing is, and a good example of this is the jar of linseed oil I had. I tried to open that up and then, showed that at the end of the video, that you might not have the right tool on hand when you need to do this. Because, okay, you're out in the shop to get the video made, and, you got to get it done. You got to get that jar open. I mean, you can't leave everything sitting there and drive to Home Depot to get the correct tool and come back and do that. You can't do that. You have to work with what you have to get the job done in the moment so that you don't lose steam. Losing steam when you're making videos is probably one of the worst things that can happen, especially for me, because I'll just drop it and I'll move on to something else. I just had to check to make sure that the camera's still rolling, because that can happen too. You're recording something and you think you're recording it and you're not. You could have sworn you pressed the record button and god damn it, you didn't press it. And so you don't have that thing, that operation that there's not a duplicate of. I mean, if you're cutting out 10 pieces of wood and you miss cutting out the first one, that's not a big deal. You can film the second one and make it look like the first one, if you're going to show all the parts being cut, that is. But if you're doing something that will only happen one time, like cutting the slot in something, and it's a very important slot, you have to go and make the part that slot gets cut in, and just so you can cut the slot in it. So you'll wind up with two of those things sometimes. The other thing is if you don't have sound. You can stand there talking to the camera. And one video in particular, the coolest box ever video, where I did a whole sequence where I didn't have any sound. I wasn't recording. My mic wasn't fully plugged in. So all kinds of things happening, all kinds of things you have to pay attention to besides the project itself. It's almost like the project is the least significant part of the operation. When you've got to babysit the camera, set up the shots, make sure you got sound, make sure your lighting's good. If you're washed out or if you're too dark or stuff like that, it's just endless. It's endless. So when you watch a project video and say it's 10 minutes long, you're actually watching probably several days worth of work that went into making that 10 minutes. Because, okay, I'm going to exclude the part where you came up with the idea for the project and worked out all the details beforehand, because then you're, increasing the time involved for some things for weeks and even months on end.